2 weeks ago, on episode 69, I did an overview about sales funnels for those who want to learn more or just are curious about sales funnels. And one of the things I mentioned there was having a lead magnet to make it easier to collect prospect contact information. So you're able to reach out to them later via emails and whatever, SMS and whatever. Now, for a while, I know you've probably downloaded a couple of those. It has been a norm for businesses to give out free lead magnets. So you go on a business website and they say, get this ebook, get this checklist, get this template, get this case study for free, but just submit your email. But after testing this for a while, I've discovered that it's not really the best strategy. And at the end of this episode, I believe I should have made a case for you to actually explore charging for your lead magnets. Welcome to the Tech Your Business podcasts, another episode. On this podcast, we break down technology so you can apply it in your business to help your business make more money and do more in less time. My name is Peter. I'm the founder of Target ICT, which is a fully remote IT consulting firm registered in the United Kingdom, and I am your host today. So like I mentioned before, it's really common to use free things like ebooks, free things like checklist templates, case studies, and sometimes even courses as lead magnets. But the truth is that there are some significant issues that come up with giving out everything for free or giving out your top of the funnel or your lead magnets for free. And these are some things I would like to unpack in this episode. So some of the issues with giving out these things for free, because I've actually tested this out for a while, and some of the issues with giving out these things for free is that you have lower conversion rates over time. When we talked about sales funnels, we talked about people coming from the awareness stage to the interest stage down to the purchase stage. So when you give things for free, you discover that you have a lower percentage of people moving from that first stage to actually purchasing from you. Another thing is you have less revenue coming in. You have poor quality leads a lot of the time. So if you're the kind of business who gets leads in and maybe you make sales calls to them, you discover that a lot of the people that downloaded these things free are not really a right fit for your business. And this can be as a result of a couple of issues. The first of which being is that when people don't invest anything, they are a lot less committed. And I'm sure you've done that a couple of times. You've seen a lead magnet, you've put in your email, you've gotten it in your email, you've probably downloaded it, and 2-3 years later, you haven't read it. Compare that to something you spent a bit of money on, then you understand these parts. Another thing is that most people never consume what they sign up for, which is just what I mentioned. Then one other thing is that it's really easy for people to opt in free to your lead magnets. If they have to opt in free, there's no friction, there is no effort being made. So it's a lot more likely to attract a lot of tire kickers, people who aren't serious buyers, people who are just looking around. Another thing is that you generate no immediate revenue to cover the cost of giving things away free, because when you look at it, creating a high quality lead magnet costs money. If it doesn't cost money, at least it costs time, and time in the business world, time translates into money, especially depending on your level of expertise. So if you look at the cost per hour of the team member or even yourself who created that lead magnet, you see that it costs a lot to produce this, and getting nothing for it upfront, it's somehow. It's a bit somehow. Then another thing is that a lot of people who want to download freebies just want to do it themselves. They just want to piece info together from your free lead magnets, piece info from YouTube, from blogs, from different places, and try to solve their problems themselves over time. which makes them not your ideal customer as against someone who knows the value of their time and will prefer, okay, you know how to solve my problem, take it away from me while I use my time in focusing on what I set up my business for. So I think there is a disconnect in the type of clients. I'm not saying that they don't work, they work, but I think you would have a higher quality prospects by using what I suggest. And what I suggest is if you create this high quality lead magnets, I'm not saying you should create fluff or create something that you won't even pay for. If you create things that you know that you can pay for, you know that your clients can pay for, but you want to show these things at the first stage of your funnel to cold traffic to people who don't know anything, that's cold traffic, people who don't know anything about you, people who are encountering you for the first time. One thing I'll suggest, one thing I've seen that works, especially for lead quality, is selling a discounted product. So rather than offering these things for free, you can sell it as a discounted product, which helps you filter for buyers that are willing to spend money to solve their problems, which is what you need in your business. Doing this also filters out anyone who can't afford to pay you or who can't pay you even if they wanted to. So for instance, depending on the markets you serve, there are a lot of places where you have payment restrictions. So there are places where the available payment options they have can't work with what you have. So even if they are ready to pay you for your product and service after consuming your free lead magnet, they won't be able to pay you. So offering discounted products filters these sets away from you. Another thing is when you have prospects pay for your product, it shows that you value your time, and it also leads to the prospects having a higher perceived value for your products or for your lead magnet or for whatever you give to them than for these free things that since they didn't pay for them, they technically paid for it with their email, but you can't really quantify that much. So since they didn't pay for these things, they feel the free things might be worthless. So once they actually pay for these things, they have a higher perceived value for them, which will make them more likely to consume these products and make them more likely to be exposed to your brand and translate into paying customers for your product or service. You can also immediately generate revenue, sales revenue, while capturing customer data at the top of your funnel. So rather than setting up a landing page which costs money, creating a lead magnet which costs money, setting up your tracking and everything, which costs money, setting up your CRM, your automations, which also costs money and time. If you have these discounted products on offer, you're at least going to be able to generate a bit of revenue. Probably it won't cover the cost of these things, but at least it's making an attempt. Making an attempt at covering the cost. So yes, and also it is much, 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 much easier to have people who have paid you before pay you again for your higher ticket offers. So if probably you had someone pay you £10 or £15 for a product, you already know that they want to pay to solve their problem. For this now, there are different layers. Your free lead magnets would likely be a way for them to do it themselves, to solve the problem themselves. So once you have that discounted lead magnet, it's going to outline how they can solve that problem, which you solve by themselves. So if they look through that and they say, okay, no, this is too complex, this is something I don't want to spend my time doing, then you can move them over to a higher value, higher priced offering, which would be done with you. So you can work with them in solving this problem. So this will cost definitely more than the do-it-yourself option. Then The third one, which will be your product or services, your product or service, high ticket product or service costing maybe thousands of pounds or dollars, that will be the done for you, where you solve the problem for them, like I mentioned earlier, and let them focus on their business. So usually it's ascends in that way. It goes from do yourself, which is the cheaper, discounted one, into the done with you, and then the done for you, just that way. So there are some characteristics of an ideal discount offer or an ideal discounted lead magnet. So first of all, the original value is typically over $100 or £100, depending on what currency you use. Then it is advisable. So that means whatever you're giving out should be something your prospects would pay if they are warm leads. That's if they are people that know you already, that know your brand, that have been exposed to your brand. It should be something that they're ready to pay over $100 or £100 for. Now, what you're going to do for the cold traffic is when you create this product or lead magnet, you discount that product to, I'm not a fan of discounts, but as against offering it for free, devil and WC. So you discount that product to under 30 pounds or $30. Let's use dollars versus universal. So you discount that product to under $30. So some price points that work are $29, $27, $19, $17, $7, $9. Any of them can work. These are good price points to offer your discounted products for. And what this does is that you demonstrate immense value, the immense value that you have in that discounted product. And the discount on taking $100 product down to maybe $7 or $9, it makes it a no-brainer for someone whose problem this solves. And apart from that, even though this product can be priced at $100 or thereabouts, I would usually advise that it should offer $1,000 value, $500 value, so that when they finally consume it, they are, it's what and they call it, I think it's the value ladder or something. Customers, clients, prospects buy and show a higher level of satisfaction and are more likely to give a better review, are more likely to buy more from you when they sense that they got far more value than they paid for. So that's a strategy to make this work. So there are also long-term benefits to going with these discounted products as against free lead magnets. And some of these long-term benefits are, first of all, like I mentioned, you have higher quality leads. So like I mentioned, there are countries where they can consume your products, they can download your free products, but they cannot pay. They have no payment methods, or they are blocked, or just imagine maybe having people from maybe North Korea downloading your free magnets, increasing your server costs and all that. But when it's time to pay, they have no way to pay you. That's one thing. That's one benefit. Another long-term benefit is that it increases the likely conversion rate of these people. So when they bought from you once, they are likely to buy more from you. And that also gives you the opportunity to sell higher ticket products to them in future. Because like I said, when you give them more value than they paid for, then that makes your done for you offering, which is your main product offering, which can cost thousands of dollars. That makes it look like much more value to them. They've consumed this small one from you. They are likely to buy that from you. So another thing is that it enhances the credibility and trust they have in you. Okay, they've paid money to you and you've delivered to them. You've had a microtransaction with them. You see, you've had a microtransaction with them. So they have that, your credibility has increased. They have more trust in you to pay you more. Because there are a lot of times, maybe you want to buy something. I'm sure you've done that before. Maybe you want to buy something from a stranger. You just test with a little amount of money you can afford to lose. And when they deliver to you, you test it a higher amount until you get comfortable fully dealing with them. So those are some long-term benefits that you get from this. Next, we'll move into some tips for implementing discounted products as against free lead magnets. The first tip I have is that you should test different discount levels or different price points. So I mentioned a couple of prices. I mentioned that it's usually good to price it below $30. You might do more, you might do less, but the thing is that you can test different price points. One thing I've noticed is that the lower price points, you get more sales, and the higher price points, you get higher converting, you get more qualified, you usually get better quality clients when you price these higher because you know they are ready to spend at the upper limit. So just test different price points. Then another thing is that it's always good to offer time or quantity limited deals. So you can say, okay, till this time, I won't say create fake scarcity, that's fraudulent, but you can say, okay, from this time to this time, that's when you're testing price points. You can do this. You can start with, okay, from this point to this point, this thing is going to sell for $7. From here to here, it's going to go to $9. From here to here, it's going to go to 17 to 11 to whatever. So that's what that does is that for whoever sees the timer and sees it actually go to a new price, it creates scarcity, it creates urgency for them. So they are more likely to buy and they're more likely to consume these products. Then another thing is to bundle related products with your lead magnet. So this can be done using order bumps. So an order bump is basically when you get to the checkout page where they have to pay, you can have another product which is related to the main product. And you say, okay, do you want this in addition to this? And if they click, it increases the amount they are going to pay. So that increases the average order value you get for your would have been free lead magnets. You can also use upsells. You can use upsells, which is after they've made the payment, you can say, okay, do you want this in addition to your product, to what you bought, which would also be complementary or related to what you offered. A lot of people also actually offer their done for you product at the point where they're offering the first one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but at least it lets the prospect see what you have to offer in the future. Then another tip I would have is that you should make it easy for the customer to consume your product. So one easy way people do this is having an email or SMS sequence. So let's say, for instance, some people call it a fast start. So let's say, for instance, you have a course, a mini course as your lead magnet. You can divide this course into 3, 7, or 21 days. And then you say, okay, once you make the order, day 1, you get an email to consume these parts of the product. Day 2, you get an email to consume this part. Day 3, you get an email to consume this part, just that way, so that at least they are reminded that they downloaded this thing and that they are meant to consume it, because the product would only be useful to them when they consume it. So those are the tips I have. But at the end of the day, like I said before, giving everything away has drawbacks for serious businesses. And like I've tested over time, selling a discounted flagship product, heavily discounted, like I said, as your lead magnet, instead of giving these things out free, filters for high intent, ready, and higher lifetime value customers or buyers. And this lets you make money from the start of your sales funnel down to the end, because at the beginning, they pay to get in your sales funnel, and then they are likely to pay more for you to offer more value to them with your higher price services. So, like I said, try testing this, try making some lead magnets, which you're going to sell at a highly discounted price. Run some tests for this and see the results. Compare the results with what you've been giving out totally for free. To implement this, I'll say some next steps to implement this are, first of all, identify your best selling product, identify your best selling service, or create a DIY, do-it-yourself version of your product or service that can provide immense value to the customer. Then create a discount bundle on that offer, which will be used as your new lead magnets. Create a landing page or create a small sales funnel. I think in the last solo episode on sales funnels, I talked about some software you can use to create your sales funnel. So create a landing page offering that product, and make sure the landing page is compelling. Make sure you have the good copywriting there. You have your calls to actions. You quell any objections there and everything. Then once you have your landing page, drive traffic to that landing page through adverts, through organic method, posting it on your social media and everywhere, posting it on YouTube and all those places, blog posts, SEO optimized blog posts and the rest. Then split test this against, like I said, against the free opt-in you had earlier. See track metrics like how many leads you get, how many sales you get, how many conversions you get, how much further purchases you get, and make multiple versions of your landing page. Compare them, test them, because like I say, marketing is basically testing, and testing. Find out what works best and keep using it. And at the end, just let me know. Let me know how selling discounted products as your lead magnets has impacted your business when you try this out. So I hope, like I said, I've been able to, if not convince you, get you to explore putting discounted products at the top of your funnel. So did you get any value from this episode? I know I've been talking for a while. Did you get any value from this episode so far? If you did, please share this episode with anyone who you know it would help, anyone who offers free lead magnets, anyone who is thinking of offering free lead magnets, anyone who is thinking of building a marketing system for their business or building a sales funnel. Share this episode, or just business owners. Every business owner needs to market. So share this episode with fellow business owners. And if you want to be the first to know when we post new episodes, more helpful content like this, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on right now or watching it on right now. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to be the first to know about everything we post. So for more on this topic, I think I've mentioned it like twice or thrice. On episode 69, we talked about sales funnels. And if you get confused when you hear the term sales funnels or you want to learn more about sales funnels, then you should listen to episode 69. It goes more in depth than this episode, and listen to as many episodes as are relevant to you. We have over, at this point, this episode, we have over almost 70 episodes so far. So go through, listen to as many as are relevant to you. Till next week, Monday, when we come back to you with a brand new guest episode. So keep taking your business, and bye for now.